Welcome to product roadmap community updates session on the November month. Thanks a lot for joining in. Let me start with a quick disclaimer. There is a Diwali festival going on in India, so please excuse us if you hear firecrackers at the background. Um, all right. Moving on to the introduction section. Um, I'm currently let me introduce myself. I'm currently working as a product manager for Chef Compliance product portfolio. I've been associated with Chef for almost like a year. I handle Chef Compliance, uh, inspect team, cloud resource pack team, and content team. So these are the I used to handle requirements for end-to-end for complaints. That's my role here in Chef. Let me ask Nishal to introduce himself now. Over to you, Nishal.
Thank you, Lokesh. Hey guys, my name is Nishal. Thanks for joining our webinar today. I work as a senior product manager at Chef, and I'm currently responsible for Chef SaaS, Chef Desktop, and Chef Automate initiatives. It's really nice talking in front of you today. I'll probably hand it over to Nikita to introduce herself.
Thanks, Nishal. Hello, everyone. I've been working with Chef since last 6-7 months for the team in Spec, and I'm working there as a software engineer too. And it has been great working with InSpec, and since it's a very interesting project up till now. And yeah, that's pretty much about me. So I'll hand it over to Vasundhara next.
Thanks, Nikita. Uh, Hello, I'm Basundhara, working with Chef around like last 6 years and recently been joined Progress and working with inspecting from last 6-7 months. I'm working with inspecting along with Nikita on this. Yeah, that's all from my end. Yeah, Lokesh. Yeah,
Yeah.
back to you.
Thanks, Nishal. Thanks, Nikita. Thanks, Vasunthra. Um, So let's move to the agenda aspects of the session. So there are two parts this session has been split into. One is what's new in the inspect side of things on the 2021 features. Second is on Chef SaaS beta, which is going to be given by Nishal. So what are the key features we have delivered in 2021, and then followed by a quick demo on each feature, and then we'll give a high level overview on like other interesting features which we can't demo. So this is the quick agenda on contents aspects of this session. Yeah. So what are the key features in Chef Inspec 2021? If you see here, the new resource to interface with variety of database, integration with open policy agent, integration of cook style into Inspec linting, SElinux support. So these are the key features we have launched in 2021. And this would be, so the structure which we are going to follow for each feature is like, there'll be an overview and benefits and values delivered for each feature, followed by a recorded demo of each feature from our InSpec engineering team. All right. Moving on to the first section, new database resources. So one of the key themes we adopted and the request came from our customers for this current quarter is to build on DB resources. So we have created DB resources for Sybase, IBM DB2, MongoDB, Cassandra DB, Oracle, and MS SQL. So what are the key benefits of DB resource for inspec users? If you ask me that question, then users can write different controls related to CAs and stick benchmarks for DB. Let's say, for example, if you want to write a benchmark related to MongoDB, then you can use this resources to write controls with MongoDB CAs benchmark. And then the second part is like user can also test different scenarios like testing number of rows in the query result, testing for matching database and role name, test the database parameters, test the port on which DB listens, and test the security configuration options. So these are different scenarios which a user can test with this type of resources. Let me hand it over to Vasunthra for IBM DB2 demo and quick overview about the resources aspects. Over to you, Vasundhara.
Yeah, thanks, Lokesh. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So uh, we so everyone as knows like IBM DB2 is a relational database, and in InSpec we have added the support to verify the configuration of this database using the InSpec resources like IBM DB2 conf and the IBM DB2 session resource. So IBM DB2 conf resource basically helps in verifying the configuration values of the IBM DB2 database, whereas IBM DB2 session resource helps to run a query on the database and verify the results of that query. So if you can see the examples, like there are two controls. So in the first control, I'm verifying whether the server-based authentication is been enabled for that or not. So this is one of the CIS benchmark as I have taken for the example. So in IBM DB2, this particular configuration, we can check like whether it's been set. So if basically yeah, so this resource needs two parameters to be given. So one is that the executable file path of the DB2 and the DB2 instance name. So since we getting the output in the array format, I'm checking that the output should not be empty, and the so that particular value which I expecting that should be there in that array. So that is like server connection authentication should be equal to server. So this is one control, and the second control, I'm using the IBM DB2 session resource. So here the additional parameters that I've been using is like DB name, since we have to query on the database. So database name is required, and the query which we want to execute. So here we are checking the role that system manager role is present in the syscat.rolauth table using this query. So let's go to the demo of this. Yeah. Just let me know like whether this is visible to you, Lokesh.
Yes, Vasundhara, it's visible for me.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so just an like to know that this is a pre-recorded video, so I'm just running that video here so that we can avoid any glitches in the demo part. So yeah, let's go. Yeah, so I'm using the same example to so this is one of the profile where I already added these controls, and I will be running those controls. So as I already mentioned what all these are, I'm moving further in the demo. So we will be executing first one resource, that is IBM DB2 conf resource, and we will check the value of this srbcon.auth on like at the DB2 in the database itself. So I have already logged into the Docker container where I have this database running. So I'm just right now uh, querying on the database for the configurations. So these are the different configuration settings in the database. So we will grab on the required one and see the what is the value of it. So this is currently not specified. So we are expecting that our control should fail. So let's run the profile now. So I'm running the profile here. So this is my profile path, and the then I'm using the target as the Docker, as my database is running on the Docker, and other credentials which is required to log into that server. Yeah. So let's run the profile. Yeah, so we can see here that this has been failed, since we have seen that currently it is set as the not specified. So the control for it is failing. So let's go further and update the values of it in the database. So I'm just going back to the database. And updating the values. Yeah, so now this has been set to the server, which is expected. And then we just rerun the profile. Yeah, so we can see this is passing now. So now let's move to the another resource, which is IBM DB2 session resource. I'm commenting out the other one. Yeah, so we will check again on the database running this query and what are the values there. So I'm just going to copy this query. Let's go to the database again. So first I'm going to connect to the DB2 instance. So DB2 attached to DB2 instance attaches us to the DB2 instance. And then I'm connecting to the database so that I can query on it. So I'm just running the query here. Yeah, so now we can see there are different roles which are there right now. So we are expecting the system manager role is also there in this table. So let's rerun the profile and see the results. So it should pass because we are expecting the whatever the expected value is there already. So yeah, this you can see like this is passing now. So this is how both the resources works, and that's that's all about IBM DB2 resources.
Thanks, Sundara.
Yeah.
1 minute. I'll. Yeah. So let's move on to the next feature, integration with Open Policy Agent. So before that, let's see what is OPA, what is policy, and what is policy engine. So basically, what is OPA? So Open Policy Agent, it's an like an open source general purpose policy decision engine. It is implemented in Golang, and then like policy documents are implemented in specialized language called Rego. And then like what is a policy? A policy is like basically like a set of rules or a set of use cases where you will put like allow SSH in your system, don't allow SSH in your system. So these are the rules which the basic set of rules, or like the structure of rules. It's composed as a policy. And then what is a policy engine? A policy engine is like a software component that allows users or other system to query policies for decisions. And these decisions are like commonly based on policies loaded into the policy engine. So that's the quick overview about like OPA policy and policy engine. And then why OPA? Like why users are going behind OPA? So there are 5 key reasons. One is like Rego. It is like a high level declarative language. And then like it's like general purpose, meaning like it can be embedded in any library, or it can be deployed as a daemon, or it can be simply run on the command line. And the other interesting factors, like it can be used to express policies and rules with a data structure like JSON or YAML format. And the third one, it's like it is in the cloud native aspect, meaning it was built from ground up to run in containerized cloud native environments. And it's like lightweight nature also. It can be deployed in massively highly distributed environments with help of microservices architectures and serverless workloads. And the fourth aspect, it's like it is like an open source one. And then the fifth one, it's like it has a good number of integration support with other software aspects. So these are the 5 reasons why people go behind OPA. And then coming to InSpec integrations and key benefit, it offers 2 resources, basically OPA's API and OPA CLI. Users can query OPA using OPA policy file, a data file, and a query, and also to test the output of OPA CLI and OPA API, which is in the JSON format. So these are the key benefits of OPA integration. Right now, I'll hand it over to Vasunthra to take it further for OPA integration demo. What do you, Vasunthra?
Yeah, thank you. Let me share the screen. Okay, so moving to the next slide. This is more of a diagram which is representing the integration of OPA with InSpec. So in InSpec profile, we can define the controls using in which we can use the 2 resources. One is either of like OPA CLI or the OPA API. And then we can query on the, so basically it sends the data to the open policy agent, and then using the policy file and the data file, OPA returns the decision to the InSpec, which is basically in the JSON format. And using this JSON, InSpec evaluates it and verifies whether the expected value is like it will give us the results based on the expected value. So this is more of a diagram about it. Then yeah, so moving further, so this is the sample scenario which I'm using while demoing. So I'm just giving the overview of that. So for example, one of the organization having the different servers using different networks, and those networks are having different protocols and connected to like these are connected to different ports. So it can connect it to public networks or the private networks. So there this organization, for example, decides to have a policy which will check like servers which are connected to the public network should not expose to the HTTP protocol, and it should not also expose the telnet protocol. So how OPA defines this rule is like using the policy file. So policy file is nothing but written in the Rego language in OPA. And we can see here that this is one of the policy file where we have defined those rules which I have like told right now, like the servers exposed to the public should not be servers attached to the public network should not um, expose the HTTP protocol or the telnet protocol. So this is here like a violation is the function which is checking that. So how we can query that as like there is a pattern to do that is like data.example, and then we can call the violation. So this is the query which we have to use. And this is basically the output format of the OPA. So this is a JSON containing the result, and the value here you can see the CI and busybox it's returning. So CIs and busybox are the servers which are currently violating the policy. So that's why that's coming into the value. If nothing is violating the policy, this is expected to be the empty. And sorry, so same we will be checking, we will be considering while in the resources. So let's move on to the demo part. So before that, yeah, sorry, before that I will just explain how this resources and what are the parameters required to that. So one is OPA CLI. So OPA CLI basically uses the command line. So for that we did the query, that is data.example violation is our query, and the policy is nothing but the part to the policy file, that is this one which I have defined, which is written in Reco, and the data file which is our all the servers related data. And we are checking here that with the whatever the JSON output we are getting, we are checking the value should be empty, that we are expecting that none of the servers should violate the policy. So moving back to the next resource, that is the OPA API. Only difference is here is that we need to so we can run the OPA as a server also. So they have the APIs also, we can use the API. So this resource basically does that, like OPA, using the OPA API you can use their APIs. So we need to just provide the URL of the server. So I'm just running the server on my local host. So I'm giving localhost 8181, and this is the pattern to give the query. So this is the whole URL, like we see it, data.example.violation, same it is here shown as here. So next we have to provide is data. So this is my data file. So let's move on to the demo part. So as I shown, these are the two resources currently I have already defined. So just moving ahead, okay, already here. So just to show that currently CI is using HTTP protocol and telnet. So this will fail. Our resources will fail, and that is what expected. And this is a file, data file which we use for the OPA API resource. So only difference in this file that we need to wrap the data into the input parameter while if when we are using the OPA API resource. So moving further, this is all I have like already explained. So just we will run the profile. Yeah. So you can see that we were expecting that both the resources should fail, and these are the two servers which are violating the policy. So it is showing that we expected that it should be empty, but it is not coming empty, so that it's failing. But in the case of second, it's failing because we are not started the OPA server. So let's start the OPA server. So I'm just starting the OPA server here. And rerunning the profile. Yeah, so you can see like for both the things, the same thing is like failing. Now we will just update our data so that we can see the pass condition. So I'm changing both the files. And going to rerun the profile. Yeah, so we can see now both the yeah, so here we can see that both the resources now is passing. So yeah, so that's how this OPA resources works. And yeah, over to you, Lokesh.
Yeah, thanks, Vasunthra. Let's move on to cook style integration with InSpec linting. Yeah. So on cook style integration with InSpec linting, so we have like two types of linters. One is like InSpec check, which basically checks InSpec profiles for errors, missing metadata, and other common style issues. And the other one is like cook style, which is like a chef workstation linter. So this integration of cook style with InSpec, it's basically will check for cook style errors during InSpec check, and it will be done in a secure way. So what are the key benefits of this cook style integration? It's like one is like having good style conventions and best practices, having similarity or uniformity in the code structure, detecting deprecated code that creates error, and detecting common chef InSpec mistakes which causes the code to fail. So these are the key benefits of this integration. Let me pass it to Nikita to give a quick demo on this. Over to you, Nikita.
Thank you, Lokesh, for briefing everything literally about cook style integration with InSpec check. And with this, I'll proceed with the demo. So since this is a pre-recorded video, I'll play this and I'll explain as it goes along. So here you can see this is a InSpec profile, but it's a very basic profile. And we don't know what this profile is doing, and there's no description, there's no title. So whatsoever, it's a very basic profile. Then again, we're using the old deprecated functionality, which is attribute. And also in the last control, we can see there's no control ID, there's no name to the control, it's blank. So typically, InSpec check should be able to find out all the flaws of this profile, and that's how it used to work before this. But since now we have integrated it with Cook style, it should also list out all the deprecations in your profile here. So this is the syntax, InSpec check, and then you provide the part to your profile. I'm using local profile. You can also use different profiles, git profiles, whatever. So as we can see, initially there are logs, we can ignore that. There's location to the profile, there's name of the profile, and it says it's valid false, which means the check failed. Because we can see clearly there's an error in the profile, there's some warnings, there's no title description. And in the end, it is showing this deprecated attribute method, which we're using in the profile. And this is something which Cook style is doing. Also, in the end, you can see the summary, number of errors, number of warnings and offenses. And in order for this check to pass, you need to make sure there's no errors and offenses here in the profile itself. And that is how the check will pass. This check also automatically checks when we're uploading the profile. And you can also run it explicitly before you are scanning the whole system with your InSpec profiles. So this is how with Cook style, the check got more robust, and this is how you can use the advantage of it. And with this, I'm done with this demo. And over to you, Lokesh. You can proceed forward.
Thanks, Nikita. Let's move on to next feature on SE Linux InSpec resource. 1 minute, I'll just share my screen. Yeah, so SE Linux InSpec resource. So basically, what is SE Linux. It's basically like a security architecture integrated into a kernel using the Linux security modules, and it helps to define access controls for the applications, processes, and files on the system. It uses security policies, basically like a set of rules that tells SE Linux like what can or can't be accessed, and also to enforce the accesses allowed by the policy. So in a nutshell, SE Linux it provides additional layer of security to Linux-based system, and users also can use this inspec to verify or test these security settings with this SE Linux inspec resource. So what are the key benefits of this resource? One is like to verify SE Linux is enabled on the target system. Second is like to verify SE Linux booleans are set as per the security standards. And the third one is like to verify SE Linux modules are installed and enabled. So these are three key benefits users will be getting it. And I will pass it to Vasantara to give a quick demo on this inspec resource. What do you, Vasantara?
Yeah, thanks, Lokesh. Thanks. Sharing my screen. Yeah, so Lokesh has already given the overview of like SE Linux inspec resource, which helps in like verifying different SE Linux configurations like modules, booleans, etc. So let's go and see the example here. So in the first example, like I'm checking SE Linux should be installed and enabled. So we can use the matches like be installed and be disabled. So I'm just showing checking that it should not be disabled. So we can check the enable case. In the second control, we are checking the boolean value. So I can just query on the booleans using the selinux dot booleans dot like where I can use the where clause to and search it with the name of the boolean and check whether it's on or off. So I'm expecting here that it should be off. So I'm using the should not be on. Be on is the matcher basically. And in the third same I'm checking the boolean, but I'm checking the on value of the boolean. And then on the fourth control, I'm checking that SE Linux module Zebra is enabled and has a priority of 100 has been set. So similarly, I can query like SE Linux dot modules and I can use the where clause to search it with a name. So I'm searching with a Zebra and checking whether it exists. Then I can check the status of it, whether it's installed, then states like include enabled and the priorities of it. So see, let's look this example in the demo here. So we have all these 4 examples and let's see the running example. So I'm just executing it one by one. So we will first check this SE Linux is installed and enabled. So this is one of my Vagrant machine where the SE Linux is running. So SE status gives us the values of the SE Linux, like whether it's enabled or not. So as we know, it's enabled. So we are expecting our profile should pass. So let's go further and run this profile. So I'm executing the profile here. So yeah, so we have to use sudo here as this SE Linux command is sudo access. So we are using the sudo. So and other options that I need to connect to that server, that is the target and password, port, etc. So I'm just running this profile now. sorry. Yeah. So this is the result which we are seeing here. So sorry, I'm just forwarded the video. So yeah, next we will check this boolean, selinux boolean. So as explained earlier, I'm checking two values, HTTP for the two booleans, HTTP enable home directory, and the another is query connect any. So let's check the value into the on the selinux where the selinux is running. So to check the boolean values, we use se manage booleans -l command, which will list all the boolean. And we are grabbing on the expected value and checking this what it is. So currently it is off, which our profile in our profile also, if we are doing that, like should not be on. And then the another value of it where we are checking it should be on. So currently it's on. So we are expecting that the profile should pass. Yeah, so this is like this is pass. So moving forward, we are checking for the Linux modules. So let's go first to the and check the modules. Like we can list all the modules using sudo sc modules -l full command, which will list all the modules. And then we are grabbing on the zebra just to check whether it's installed or not, and what are the other settings of it. So the 100 is nothing but the priorities, so which we are checking in the profile, whether it's enabled. So -l full basically list all the enabled modules only. This is already enabled. So we will run the profile again. Yeah, so that's how this all the SC Linux resources works. We can use this queries, basically modules and booleans to verify the data configurations of SC Linux. Yeah, that's all from my end. Over to you, Lokesh.
Yeah, thanks, Vasantra. So let's move on to the next one on other interesting features. So these features we can't show demo due to interest of time. So on the first feature, like inspect automate alias for inspect compliance command. So before implementing this feature, all these functionalities related to automate are tied with the inspect compliance command earlier, and this was triggering confusion to users. So what we are doing, it's like we are shifting to inspect automate command, and this will help and we are planning to deprecate this inspect compliance command over a point of time. And with this change, like inspect automate, users can log in to automate, log out to automate, download a profile from automate, execute a chef automate profile, list available profiles in the automate. So these things user can do with inspect automate command. And then like on the second feature, inspect shell with inputs. So with inspect profiles, that support inputs, you can set inputs using the inspect shell command. And inspect shell inputs like allows to work more consistently with like inspect profiles when switching between like shell and exec commands. So basically it's like there are two options currently. You can pass the inputs. One is through CLI and then like through YAML file. So that's about the inspect shell with inputs. And then like on the third feature, the like hyphen reporter, hyphen include hyphen source. So this option is used to add like a source code of the control. Users wanted to view the source code of the control. That's why we brought in this feature. And then like the fourth feature is to add support for targeting Linux and Windows container, basically running on Docker for Windows. And then fifth one is to add support for Alibaba Cloud Linux. So this came from our a lot of customers, this request. And then the last one, it's to support Mac OS packages for the ARM architecture. And this is like a basic traditional platform check we used to do with inspect. So these are the interesting features which we have launched in Inspect 2021. Now we have come to end of first part of this session. Like any questions, clarifications, concerns on Inspect side of things, please ping in the Q&A section. We are happy to answer these questions. All right. Now I'll hand it over to Nishal to give interesting updates around Chef SaaS beta. Over to Nishal.
So thank you, Lokesh. All right, I'm really excited to be talking to you about Chef SaaS beta today. So let's get on with it, right? This is the DevOps lifecycle, the typical DevOps lifecycle that most of you must be aware about, right? Where we go through the continuous development, integration, testing, feedback, and so on and so forth. And we use different tools and processes to streamline this whole workflow, right? And Chef is one such tool which helps in automating infra management and compliance monitoring. And there are multiple ways to use Chef and specifically host it as well, right? And the most popular way to use Chef is by hosting it on-prem. We had a lot of customers reaching out to us over time, talking about challenges and pain points they face with hosting Chef on-prem, right? First, it takes time to set up the on-prem instance and the whole environment. And it is an added effort to maintain and keep the environment up to date. And it could also potentially be an added cost depending on their scale and how they're set up, right? So because of all these problems, though they want to use the latest version, the latest improvements, latest features, they inevitably fall behind and they end up stuck on the old versions, right? And we also had customers who reached out to us and said, hey, it would be great if you can take care of setting up the environment, maintenance, upgrades, so on and so forth, right? It'll really save us a lot of time, and then we can spend our efforts where it matters the most, right? And hence we we have embarked down this journey to create a SaaS product, and we called it as Chef SaaS. So Chef SaaS will enable you to use Chef's suite of products through a single cohesive platform. And it'll also let you always be on the latest version without having to worry about maintaining or upgrading the environment. So Chef SaaS is currently in beta phase, and I will talk more about how you can get access to it in subsequent slides. But let me first give you a quick overview of what it offers. So first, like I said, it comes with zero maintenance and apparently no deployment. You can just log in and start using the whole of Chef suite. And you don't have to spend time and resources in setting up your Chef instance. And you don't have to worry about upgrading Chef to the latest versions. It will always be on the current version. And this is supported by Chef, right? So you can rely on our expertise to make your environment run smoothly so that you can now focus on what matters most for you and leave all the heavy lifting to us, right? So let's take a look at what you will get with Chef SaaS. So with Chef SaaS, you'll get all the workloads that are supported in Chef, including Chef Infra Management, Chef Compliance, Chef Desktop, and more. Apart from these workloads, Chef SaaS is built on some of the same foundational components that you are already familiar with. That includes Automate, which gives you a powerful dashboard for complete operational visibility. So put together, Chef SaaS offers you a complete cohesive package for your infrastructure and compliance automation needs. But what are the advantages of using Chef SaaS? So some of these advantages are already discussed, but let me touch upon them briefly, right? So like I said, no overhead for maintaining or upgrading your Chef deployment. You don't have to worry about scale, right? So we take care of your scale based on the number of nodes that you manage. And apart from that, you'll also get access to, depending on how you're set up and the kind of components that you're using today, you'll get access to some of the components that you have not used before, right? For example, if you're not using Automate today, by opting to Chef SaaS, you'll get access to really good dashboard layer, which will give you visibility into your compliance posture and also your infra posture. And yeah, you also get access to other workloads, and it is also future proof, right? As in, any new feature that we add will by default be available through this product. So now let's look at what state it currently is in, right? And a little bit about what does the future look like. So we have been working on this product for quite some time, and we have been lucky enough to partner with some of our customers from very early stages. So we started with a pre-alpha and alpha phase, where we were working on some of the foundational aspects to build the environments. And currently we are in beta phase, actually closed beta phase to be specific, where we have provided access to a few customers and we are working on improving the product based on the feedback that we're getting from those customers. So the intent is to closely work with these early adopters and improve the product based on what we hear from them. So eventually we will open up beta to more public users. And once we sufficiently address the feedback that we get from them, we will probably release a generally available version. And like I said, we are currently in the beta phase, where we have been working with select few customers very closely, but we are now at a phase where we can expand beyond the initial set of customers. And so we are currently opening beta for more registrations, and we have about 5 slots open at this point. So if you are facing similar challenges and pain points around using and setting up on-prem and updating on-prem instances, you should consider trying out Chef SaaS. But how can you get access to the product today, right? Like I said, we are currently open for beta registrations, and we have curated a beta program for interested users. So we are calling it as Chef SaaS beta program. And the beta program works in the following way. So you can express your interest by registering for beta access. I'll tell you how in a moment. And once you express interest, we will schedule a kickoff meeting with you to discuss your use case and help spin up your environment and provide access to it. And then we'll have a bi-monthly feedback sessions where you can share your feedback directly with the product team. And towards the end of the beta phase, we will have a review meeting to consolidate your feedback and your experience using the product. And then you'll have the option to either continue with the next release or phase of the product, or if you don't find value, you can feel free to not continue with the next phase, right? But why should you join the beta program? What is it that you're going to get by participating in this? So I think some of these things have been covered in the previous sections, but let me touch upon the other aspects, right? So first and foremost, you'll get early access to the product before anyone else. So if your organization is planning to reduce on-prem footprint, and if you want to move to cloud, and let's say if you have plans to move to reduce a footprint, on-prem footprint, and move to cloud by, let's say, second half of next year, or maybe towards the end of next year, I think this is really good time for you to start trying this beta product, see if this fits your need, right? And then by joining the beta program, you'll also get direct access to the product and engineering team, which gives you the opportunity to share your feedback directly to the team and help us build a product that will help you successful. And then I think the most important thing is this is really a low risk engagement where the only investment you will be making is to try a product and provide feedback. And in return, you'll be getting access to the product before anyone else. Then you can also use it as a free environment for your development and testing needs. And once the beta phase is over, and once we have a generally available product, you'll have an option to whether continue with the product, or like I said, if it doesn't suit your requirements, you can opt out of it after beta, right? So it's really a low risk engagement, and there is only upside. Yeah. So, so are you interested? And are you curious to know how you can get access to this product? It's pretty simple. So you're going to see a poll show up on your screen. So if you are interested to try this product, you can respond to that poll, and then we will follow up with you, set up a follow-up call, and then we'll discuss next steps on how you can get access to this product, right? Chef SaaS. So Reza, if you can just turn the poll on, and probably I'll give like 5-10 seconds for people to respond to this poll, and then we'll go to the next section. And by the way, if you have any questions around Chef SaaS or any other topics that we've discussed today, please feel free to leave them in the question section. One of the panelists will either respond to you directly through the Q&A section, or maybe we'll take it live. So we have one question. Maybe I'll just take that while you are responding to the poll. So we have this question asking, will we be able to use Chef SaaS with our existing subscription? Will our subscription cost change, or can we seamlessly switch to SaaS without cost penalty? So like I said, we are still in beta phases. We are not in a position where we can reveal how the pricing would look like, because we're still working on that. But our goal is to eventually enable our customers to seamlessly switch from the on-prem infrastructure to SaaS. But it is going to be done in a phased manner. Maybe in the initial phases, it will not be as seamless, but eventually that's our goal, right? So yeah. So if you are interested to learn more, maybe you can reach out to us, and then we'll talk more about how this will pan out. All right, so just moving ahead. So this is one option, right? So if you're interested, you can express your interest by responding to the poll. You also have another option. So if you want to fast track the whole process, so if you want to reduce all the back and forth, you responding to the poll and we getting back to you. So there is another option through which you can directly block some time on our calendars, on the calendars of the PM team. So we will be sharing a link in the chat. Reza, if you can share the link in the chat. So you'll be able to directly block some time on our calendar. So when you click on that link, it will take you to a new website where you can find our calendar with available slots. So you can just pick the slot that is convenient for you, and it will send you a meeting request, and we'll hop on the call, and then we will discuss your use case, and then we'll discuss how you can get access to the environment, right? So if you're interested, please click the link and then block some time in our calendar. We'll be happy to talk to you. Even if you're not ready at this point, you can still block some time in our calendar. We can still discuss, and we'll probably add you to our pipeline. And then when we are ready, we can probably intimate you, and then we can onboard you, right? So regardless, we'll be happy to talk to you and understand your use case. So with that, I'm done with providing update SaaS. So we are open to taking questions. So like I said, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the Q&A section, and we'll be happy to answer them. And I see one more question coming up. Okay, I think this question is already answered. Let me see if there are any other questions. I don't have any other questions. So I think we still have like a couple of more minutes left. So maybe I'll give it a minute and see if we have any questions, and then we can probably wind it up. Lokesh, do you want to probably share anything else, call out something?
Nothing from my side, Nishal. If there are any questions, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, so there is another question. This is really interesting and very valid question in the current context. So will on-prem Chef be deprecated? So on-prem version will not be deprecated, and it will be continue to be supported. And in fact, I'd say a large percentage of our customers are on-prem, so we have no plans to deprecate it. Even once we have the Chef SaaS product available, there will still be use cases for having on-prem software. So we will continue to support it for foreseeable future. All right, I don't see any other questions. So yeah, thanks for joining our webinar today. We hope you found it useful. So if you have any feedback, you can reach out to us through forums, or you can submit your feedback through by visiting our website. So thanks for joining and have a great day. Bye.